Here's Brody Brazil.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here, and I've been enjoying putting together this series, the 2023 A's Player Profiles, but I'm especially excited this time around because it's Laser's turn. That's right, we're going to discuss Ramon Laureano's upcoming season, a guy who, by the way, I just saw down in Arizona mid-January. I was there for A's Fantasy Camp. He was at the facility actually doing real work. Hopefully he did not see me attempt to play baseball and pull a hamstring. But I digress. Let's get into the basics on Laser. My dude, right? I've always loved the way he's played. 28 years old, that'll be his age on opening day. He comes in with 3 years, 165 days of big league service time. And always going back to the way the A's acquired him, it still blows my mind, especially who it came from and how it happened. 2017, November, from the Astros. Oh, they were just so loaded back then, they did not have room for Ramon Laureano. So the A's traded Brandon Bailey to Houston in exchange for the Laser. Now, no offense, Brandon Bailey. I love the initials. You got that going for you. But the fact that the A's really stole Laser like this from Houston, even, 5-6 years ago, it still makes me feel pretty good. Laser Ramon is arbitration eligible through 2025, meaning that he will not become a big league free agent until the 2026 season. So the A's still do have team control over his situation for a couple more years. Let's revisit 2022. It obviously got off to a dormant start because he finished the final 27 games of that 80-game suspension, which started mid to later portions of the 21 season. So it carried over from 21 into 22. He finished that suspension, but he also had 2 significant stints on the injured list. And I think that's the biggest thing you could say about his last year. It was hard to ever get anything going consistently because it was such a disjointed and segmented season with the suspension, with a pair of injuries, with a bunch of other things going on. And to some surprise, but maybe to no surprise, right? Like when you're having those other issues, you hit for a career low 211 average, 13 homers, a 287 on base percentage, 34 RBI in 94 games played. I take no joy in translating that it was his roughest big league season, but again, what do you expect when it's so segmented like that with suspension and with the 2 injuries? And the other thing, too, about Laureano is that he's already come into baseball, set an extremely high bar. He's such a hard worker. He settles for nothing less than the absolute best. And so I think we all see that in him, and we obviously hope for that in the future. He made 58 starts in right field, only 29 starts in center, and 5 as the A's DH. Now, I want to focus on that. At the beginning of the year, Christian Pache was up. Obviously, Ramon was still serving that suspension, but when he came back, Ramon went to right field, and this was a transitional season for Laser because before that, he was just always the team's center fielder. So I don't want to say prove, but to at least lay out the fact that he could play different outfield positions, that was just important. That's obviously a decision the A's made. But good on Ramon that there was no issue moving from one position to the next, and we'll see what this year brings. Does he go back to center field? Does he play a corner outfield spot? You definitely want to use his range and his arm and the way he plays an aggressive outfield, probably in center or in right field like they did. He started games in all spots in the order 1 through 6, so obviously never hit 7th, 8th, or 9th, but 1 through 6, including cleanup. Yeah, there was a game Laser hit cleanup. And then I'm not always big in sharing these splits. I mean, I do it because they tell a story, but how do you remedy this? How do you better this? He hit 241 with 7 dingers in 41 day games, right? So sees the ball well under natural sun, but only hit a $186, did hit 6 homers in 53 night games. So if we could find a way to get that average looking more like the daytime side of it versus the nighttime side, it's an always interesting split when you look at things that way. And maybe that's something he's aware of from last year. Maybe not. Maybe it was just a glitch. Who knows? 5 more outfield assists from Ramon Laureano last season. That means he's now got 33 total since he broke into the big leagues. And I think in that span, he's like literally top 5 in outfield assists since he joined Major League Baseball, sitting at 33. So don't run on Ramon. I know that scouting report has been out there for a while. It's going to continue to be out there for a while. He didn't get the opportunity last year to make all the highlight reel plays that he's always been doing, but you definitely know that he's capable of that. Okay, let's spin it forward for Ramon Laureano, and I think the biggest hope you can have is that he just gets back to it, right? This is a player who there's no question what he's capable of, what his intentions are, what he was once able to do. Last year was an oddity. It was abnormal. Quite honestly, even the year before, things were a bit of a struggle, and then the suspension happened, so it got shut down literally overnight. The year before that was 2020. That was also an interesting year, so just get back to what you were doing. 2018, 2019, be that Ramon Laureano all over again. I know he'd be happy with that. A's fans would love that. Also avoid the noise. And by that, I mean if and when he plays so well, he's probably going to hear it. Trade piece. Who wants Ramon? Where might Laureano go? I mean, that's kind of the catch-22. Oh, wait. His number is 22. That is kind of the catch-22 of the season for Ramon Laureano. You play so well, and obviously we know his status. We know he's got a couple more years of team control, but other teams might value that too. So you are probably going to hear some trade talks about him as the season goes on, if hopefully it plays out like we think it could. I would love to see Ramon use the arm and the legs. Yeah, I want him to hit, and I want him to, play a great both sides of baseball, offense and defense, but the arm and the legs specifically. Make those throws from center. Get a couple more of those outfield assists this year. And also the legs. He's been so successful stealing bases. And Tony Kemp has been too. There's a couple guys on the A's I wish they would let him run just a little bit more. If Ramon hits, I don't know, second for you or wherever he fits into the lineup, get him on via a walk, get him to second via a swipe. The arm and the legs, the range, the stolen bases, like Ramon is a true athlete. I hope that can showcase itself here in 2023. And last but not least, I mean, there are some veterans that have now come into Oakland for this upcoming season, but he's one of the now longest tenured A's players. And it's kind of crazy to say that based on the fact that he only came up in the 2018 season. But 4 or 5 years, that's a long time on this current Oakland A's roster, almost longer than anybody else. I think Paul Blackburn might be the now longest tenured A. But be a team leader. Lead by example. Lead however you want, but continue to kind of progress in that role. Own it a little bit. Lead by, again, whatever fashion is Ramon Laureano's way to do it, but just be a leader on this team because they will definitely need it. All right, so that's Laser Ramon for the upcoming season. Again, I just can't wait to see him back doing his thing like I know he's capable of. And of course, the interviews will be good too. He's always a straight-to-it guy, just right down to business, the same way he plays baseball. So let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it or it provided you value. And subscribe to this channel. I've got lots more player profiles and previews coming up for the A's, and obviously all the latest with the Howard Terminal situation.